morning or good afternoon, whatever time you guys are listening to us. Welcome back to another episode of the Layman's AI podcast. I am Adam,
And my name is Brian.
and today we're here to talk to you about an interesting topic. I'm not quite sure how to word the topic, but we're here to talk about famous AI characters, if
hmm
that's a thing. I guess that's a thing now, Brian.
yeah, AI personalities. This is character AI, AI personalities. This is what they call the bold new world or the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the end times, depending on who you talk to.
It is.
But yeah, this is definitely the threshold I feel with
Yes.
AI that a lot of people are scared about.
Yes.
And I really think that, crossing this threshold now, we need to take it seriously and say, okay, what are the limits on this? In my opinion, anyways.
Definitely, because if you guys haven't picked up from Brian's tone and what we're talking about, there are two AI characters that are on the block and in the news. You probably have heard
hmm
of one or two or both of them. And with that being said, the difference between this and regular character AI, when you're interacting with it personally, I guess that's okay. You're
hmm
trying to learn, you're getting a conversation going with an AI character, but what it's not doing is taking your job,
hmm
or how do I put it? Making it so that it's not taking your job, it's not making it cheaper to do your job. But we've got two AI personalities that we're going to talk about that people believe are going to take jobs and have already taken
hmm
jobs.
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
Yes.
these are two names in the news. I guess we'll just kick them off right here.
Hmm.
One of them is Tilly Norwood. I think we can
Yes.
talk about her first. This is the one that's been making a splash in Hollywood right now.
Hmm.
And if you don't know who Tilly Norwood is, just kind of a basic background here. She is an AI actress, personality, bot, uh, AI model, however you want to word it, depending on who you're talking to. But she basically looks like a real person. I've seen her
Yes.
pictures of her, videos of her, and I'm like, this person looks real.
Looks real,
And
sounds real. Definitely has. I mean, even
mhm.
has to clear her throat at times. I mean, it is very realistic, and not to mention, I mean, to mention this, she's drop dead gorgeous too.
Yeah, can't really argue with that too much.
Right.
Which is also adds a creep factor to it, I guess. But
Oh yeah, but hey,
yeah,
beautiful woman's a
definitely.
beautiful woman. There's nothing you can, there's
We've been
nothing
doing
creepy
it.
about it.
Yeah, we've been doing that with video games for years. So what's
Yeah,
the step right here?
and
But
don't tell me that Jessica Rabbit wasn't beautiful when we were kids. Like,
oh yeah,
there,
definitely.
there you
But
go.
I digress.
My
But
bad, my bad. I'm just glad you've
yeah.
seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, that's one of the movies I've seen. But anyway, yeah, she's basically she has social media accounts too, which is another
Yeah,
interesting thing. So this adds like sort of the idea that she could be a real person. Now, the creators of Tilly are very forward with the fact that she is an AI actress and everything like that.
correct.
But my question is, when are we going to create Allison Muradovo. I don't know. I'm just like kind of making up some name off the top of my head. And we're not going to know if she's real because nobody will admit it.
Oh,
That's kind of what I'm worried about.
I think we're almost here, or
hmm
we're there. How do I put it this way? You're taking me back to, there was a documentary and it was on, it was about catfishing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that term, where without AI tools, people were able to trick
hmm
people into thinking they were somebody else and either sending money and things like that. And one of the
Yeah.
biggest cases of catfishing was with the Notre Dame linebacker Manti Te'o, the All-American
hmm
linebacker from Notre
Yeah.
Dame, was tricked into believing he was with this girl and that she had died, and it was a whole mess. The documentary covered it very well, but it was an
Oh
entire
yeah.
mess. And I think those incidences where he was tricked is now 90% more likely.
Oh yeah. Like it is going to be so much easier to catfish somebody with
Hmm.
this and everything.
Right.
But either way, going back to Tilly Norwood, I think well we just needed to talk about her specifically a little more. But she did have a comedic sketch. It's called AI Commissioner.
Yeah, I
And
think it's a short film, I think.
yeah, it's kind of been described. It's pretty good, decent. It looks okay, but the human spark, I guess, is I just kind of did a little research on Google Gemini for. They said it lacked a human spark. I have not seen it myself. I don't know if you've seen it or anything.
I've seen clips,
Hmm.
so I think it'd be unfair of me to say it lacked the human spark just by looking at clips of it.
Okay. Yeah, but it's kind of I mean I don't know if that's a sort of perception. Like if you're an actor or an actress and you're seeing this potential your potential replacement be this AI bot, I guess you can kind of make that argument too. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like not human is kind of like the strange thing.
Yeah,
Like what is human? Like this is what we trained a robot to sound like human. So that's kind of I don't know. It's kind of interesting question right there, to be honest with you.
it's interesting. For me, this entire I instantly went to okay, actors aren't going to be in having
Hmm.
roles anymore. But then it really started to dawn on me as I really started to think about the process of what goes into a movie. And
Hmm.
then what really scared me is I read the stat that said they believe this could save costs up to 90% of a movie production. And I'm going,
Yeah.
that doesn't make sense. The salaries aren't it. And then it just hit me. Every set designer
Hmm.
gone.
Yeah.
People that do the costumes, the makeup, the real people, the laymen, so the people behind
Hmm.
the scenes of the movie that make the magic happen, not just the actors and directors and act and the editing
Hmm.
room, but the people behind it are seriously in danger of being gone,
Hmm.
and that does scare me.
Yeah, yeah, that is kind of something that we don't see here. Like we kind of tend to view the Hollywood actors and actresses as like these, glam life type people. Oh, they're stuck up, they're uppity, oh, they're rich, whatever, quit whining. But
Hmm.
you gotta know like the people you mentioned, like all the people behind the
Yeah,
scenes, they're not millionaires. They're
no,
regular working folk making an average wage for the most part.
and
So yeah, like that's all gone and everything. A lot of celebrities are coming out against this. I've even
yes,
heard threats of blacklisting agencies that hire her,
uh,
which is going to be quite a fight coming up soon, I
I
think.
do, and I believe if I read something correctly, the Screen Actors Guild is getting ready to take measures against
Yeah.
anything that threatens the human artistry and the labor rights. And
Hmm.
I feel bad for some people. I mean, you spent years perfecting your creative craft, something that you're good at that nobody else, you know, has the experience you have, and now
Hmm.
it could be gone. Uh,
Yeah.
it could be gone because it's significantly cheaper to make things with AI. And while I do
Yeah.
agree with the point of it does unleash creativity to those who don't have the money or the means to actually make a motion
Hmm.
picture by themselves. Now they can make short films that maybe kids will enjoy and people will enjoy. That's nice. But when
Hmm.
we're talking about what we've been scared of this entire time, where mass unemployment is going to happen as a result of AI, we're just talking about the film industry, and there is evidence this is happening elsewhere. Now we're not going to get into that tonight, but
Hmm.
it all stems from one AI actress is really making me think that the future is definitely going to look different in forms of entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of makes me wonder that too. And you talk about the cost cutting and everything like that. Um, Kind of one thing I can think of with cost cutting, and I'm gonna go a positive direction
All
with the
right.
cost cutting and everything. Um, Shooting like the filler scenes. Like you see in a movie where you're like kind
Mm-hmm.
of panning and you have sort of like those transitional scenes or what have you. You got to set up a whole production for that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really need a full production crew to set up like transition scenes
I don't think so.
or
Not
or
anymore.
yeah, and now it's just kind of becomes a nuisance. Now the actors and the movie producers and directors, they can focus on the actual craft of the movie, like the main storyline and everything. So when you have like, you have a scene where the main actor's walking down the street or whatever, and you're kind of it's walking down New York, and instead of just showing, the camera following him the whole time, you kind of pan some shots here and there,
Mm-hmm.
basically and everything. You can use AI for those shots instead of trying to like get those ones right and everything,
Right.
and you can trim those kinds of costs. Um, Another thing that kind of comes into mind is extras that come into movies. Like it used to be like a real big thing, people just show up at a production and they
Mm-hmm.
just want to be an extra in the background or what have
Yep. They
you.
get
And
hopefully get
I
casted as an
yeah,
extra.
Yeah, I think there was this one guy, he perfected the art of being in the right place at the right time. And he has like over 100 movies where you can find him in the extra in the background. I'd have to look that up, or if
Wow.
anybody knows, you can comment because that would be an interesting one. But, now AI can take care of the extras, so you don't have to worry about dealing with them or anything like that and
Yeah.
having like studio time, run over or what have you.
And that's what I was going to bring up as the positive. As
Hmm.
you were talking, you inspired me to think, you know what, if you're falling behind in production, what can
Hmm.
AI do to get you caught up? How can it save time? I mean, when you make a movie now, are you going to have to think, okay, this is my plan, and then here's how I can use AI as a backup plan in case we fall behind, or if the weather doesn't cooperate in certain
Hmm.
scenes or things like that. I feel like there's some advantages there, and but when I read things like reducing costs up to 90%, and movies are not
That's more
doing
than
well to
just filler.
begin with, like,
Yeah.
I mean, the studios are going to be tempted because their goal is to make money.
Yeah, well, I mean, the theater industry is just so different now. Like you remember growing
Completely
up,
different.
you
Yeah.
remember like premieres were an event. Weekends
Yes.
at the movies were it was a great time.
It
Like
was.
you had so much fun. Like it was like, you see all the
Huh.
people, like everyone's excited. It was just a great thing.
Do you remember
Um,
when we were actually excited? There was like a 20 minutes of previews of what's coming.
Yeah, and
Uh,
now that's like leaking all over the internet, and so that's kind of another one of the bad things.
yeah.
But it used to be an event. It's not that anymore, and it's not coming back. No matter how much some of these old school directors wanted to, it's not coming back. Like I just recently took my youngest to the Gabby's Dollhouse movie, and walking in the theater, you just kind of walk in there like it's just like, huh,
It doesn't feel the same.
yeah, it just doesn't feel the same. So the industry's changing and everything, and maybe, just maybe, this could reduce movie ticket prices because that's one of the big things too.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, it would be nice, but how much are you going to sacrifice the human artistry in it? Because
Right.
I think we've gone through, we did a music episode where um these models wanted to use copyrighted music to train their models.
Hmm.
And the artists are like, no, you're not getting my permission to do this. And they're trying to like fight it in court and everything. It's going to be the same thing with actors, in my opinion.
Oh, it's definitely started. And you and I, in preparation for this episode, have looked at some of California's laws.
Hmm.
Apparently, Governor Newsom saw something like this coming in 2024 and signed off on some legislation. Obviously, it wasn't just Governor Newsom, also the state legislature,
Hmm.
saying that AI cannot take away the job of an actor. And other things are in place. There's other catch guards as well that we were talking about prior to. But interesting to me is how can you prove she took somebody's job away from them?
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
That's tough.
that's going to be a difficult one, but there are a few good ones that he did foresee.
Right.
Not taking, sides of political parties or anything. We just want to be clear, but
Oh, yeah.
but we do like to see when positive things happen. Um, one thing it does, it protects the person's likeness 70 years after their death. That's a long time.
Wow. That's,
70 years.
I mean,
I don't know if you need that long, but
all right. So who died 70
interesting.
years ago? We'd be able to use their likeness today.
Oh man, maybe Marilyn Monroe, Aubrey
Marilyn Monroe.
Hepburn,
Okay.
James Dean,
When
maybe.
did
I don't
John
know.
Wayne pass?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look at that, but
Because we could use the Duke again.
yeah, yeah, definitely could use that. But I mean that kind of thing is interesting right there. And but there are some other positive ones. Transparency, how you train your AI, what you're using it for. I think
Hmm.
we've gone,
You and I love
to
that.
lengths that we transparency.
Yeah.
And
Transparency is great. Let us know, where did it get the data from?
yeah,
How was the data used to train this robot, or excuse me, this AI character?
yeah, and they're also protecting against deepfake pornography, which I think goes without
Amen.
argument, to be honest with you. So, I mean, it's not all like
Yeah.
there's some positives that things people are taking, but I think the whole point with this with Tilly Norwood is we still need to figure out what's acceptable.
Hmm.
Um, because this actress right here, um, you could just create a whole digitized movie with AI actors and actresses.
It's coming.
Um, yeah, it's definitely coming. Um, Also makes me kind of wonder, is the theater industry coming back? Live theater with live actors, live sets,
Man, I hope
practical
so.
effects. I mean, it's
I
fun.
hope so.
It
I think I would truly enjoy that more than going to a
I
movie now.
yeah, I think it might make a comeback. The more we technologically advanced we get, we may become more primitive.
I mean, I did read somewhere that the wealthy people are now for purposely finding activities to ditch their cell phones for several hours.
Yeah.
So they do things like go over somebody's house and listen to a small quartet or listen to like a small orchestra or at somebody's apartment complex, and they actually
Hmm.
put their cell phones in like the same stuff you ask kids to put it in at school, and
Yeah.
so they can enjoy the time without any technology or
Yeah.
anything getting in the way. Old school, I guess. Old school, kind of like the 80s.
Yeah. That would be nice. There are some nice things about it. So
Hmm.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out what this is, but will Tilly replace humans? I don't think so. I don't think she's going to completely replace humans.
Replace, no. Compete with, definitely.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to be some competition going about there. But like I said, these actors might go back to the practical theater, which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah. So let's transition a little bit to our second AI character. So Brian,
Hmm.
if you were to name an organization that you feel could benefit from AI helping it, aside from the Cleveland Browns organization,
We're a
that's
sensitive
out.
subject.
Sensitive subject.
Yeah.
Yes, a lot of trauma. Okay, but what kind of entity or organization would you choose?
Man, how long is a piece of string? I would say, wouldn't mind seeing the government
Right?
agencies use more of the AI, which you
Right?
set me up for that, didn't you?
I did set you up for that, and knowing that that was probably going to be the answer. It was
Hmm.
either that or the NCAA, and I already threw out the football thing, so I thought you'd take
Hmm.
away the NCAA. But
Ooh,
yes, I
yeah.
did. So if our listeners haven't been paying attention or may not know what's going on, because believe it or not, Tilly Norwood got a heck of a lot more press than I think it's Delia is her name.
Delia, yeah, maybe
I think it's
Delia,
Delia.
Delilah. I think I'm going back to the Plain White T's song when I say
Hey
Delilah.
there, Delilah. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's a good song.
definitely.
It's a good song.
It blew up. But anyway, Delia, yeah,
Delia.
who is Delia?
Delia
What is
is
she about?
now Delia is now Albania's government minister of AI or something along those lines. She was actually appointed by their prime minister. Let me check my notes here real quick because I want to make sure I have that part right.
Yeah, I think
I'll be very upset with myself if I just said that incorrectly.
I brought it up through Gemini just to get a description.
Okay.
Um,
She was the
Appointed,
Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence for Albania.
yes.
And I actually have the notes here on how she came about. So she is
Mhm,
like Tilly Norwood. She has a body, she has a voice, she has traditional Albanian garbs. She looks very professional. She is an AI system that was developed by some type of agency in Albania in collaboration with Microsoft and OpenAI.
hmm,
So she was originally a virtual assistant on the eAlbania government services platform. But in the mid 2025, she's processed tens of thousands of documents and handled nearly 1,000 services and interactions. So then in September of 2025, Albania formally appointed Delia as the Minister of State for Artificial Intelligence, essentially a cabinet level role overseeing public procurement and anti corruption efforts. So,
hmm,
in Albania, as well as many other countries, there's always a concern for corruption within a government. I
hmm.
think it's been that way for a long, long time in many different governments in many different ways.
Oh yeah.
Her goal is to look at government contracts and look for biases in data-driven fashion and to provide some oversight, find things that are unclear, but also kind of root out the corruption that can go on in government deals. That's her primary purpose
Hmm.
is from what I read. So now we have a cabinet level government official, and obviously some members of their parliament or whatever were very against this, just did not like this at all.
Yeah. Yeah, th this is a tricky one. Um, so like the question is, what is corruption? Um,
Hmm.
it all depends on who you ask. Like
I've
that definition can come in so many different forms. Like,
hmm
we see it here in this country. Like, who's the most corrupt president of all time? So basically, depending on what box you just checked in the last
Yeah,
election, that determines your how you determine who was the most corrupt president.
right.
But like a lot of it, I'll kind of digress a little bit. A lot of it is kind of obvious. Like, people taking bribes or what have you, and kind
Hmm.
of like eschewing laws to purposely favor
Right.
different things and
For
everything.
me, it's government issued contracts to people that rub
Yeah.
elbows with the higher ups, which happens everywhere. Not that it's right, but it happens
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of it can be obvious, but some of it can be debatable,
Hmm.
highly, highly debatable, like I said, depending on who you ask. So how much are they leaning on this is like kind of like my biggest question right here. Is it going to sign off on anything? Is she going to kind of like make a decision without, a human touch or anything is sort of
Hmm.
my biggest question on this whole thing. Because like I said, you can have one bad actor somewhere that can eschew the programming of this model in some way, and you could kind of find a way around it. And that's
So
kind of the issue I have,
I,
potential issue.
I think you're hitting a big nail on the head here because
Hmm.
my initial thoughts were I don't like that at all. And I'm an AI
Hmm.
guy. I
Yeah.
don't like that at all because there's no way you're going to release to me how uh, Delia was actually trained or how she
Hmm.
was actually what data she's trained on because I'm thinking about this as a guy who understands history, as a guy who's interested in politicians in the past, and I love reading about U.S. presidents. I cannot tell you how many U.S. presidents would have purposely found a way to train her in one way, saying this is corrupt, but corrupt is basically what the other political party's doing or what the opposition
Hmm.
party's doing,
Hmm.
and you mask it in this, oh, they're going to root out corruption to make sure that you're not rubbing elbows with the right people, or that the people that rub elbows are the ones constantly getting the contracts, when in actuality you could be
Hmm.
benefiting from it. I'm not saying that's happening here, but
Hmm.
I'm saying the likelihood of it happening. I mean, I can name a Democrat and a Republican president right now from the years past that if they had these means to do this, they definitely would have done this. And you're
Yeah.
rooting your efforts in, oh, it's going to eliminate government corruption.
Hmm.
And then that makes it seem like anybody who opposes this could be corrupt. It's a standard play in a playbook.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really, it's difficult, and everything like that. I'm like kind of against like a personality, to be honest with you.
Hmm.
I'm more for like a language model, like a dedicated language model.
Right.
In this sense, this is kind of like another one where, it could take different things that are happening in government, and it
Hmm.
could, identify patterns. When has this happened in history before?
Right.
What was the fallout? What could have been done differently? And if something happens and it could identify it for you, and then once it's identified and kind of lays out a game plan, then you put it in front of the government itself and say, okay, here's what we found.
Yes.
Now, what do you want to do?
And here's my problem, Brian. You just nailed it again. AI is an assistant. It's a tool. We've said this.
Oh man, how like AI
Yeah,
is a
every
tool.
episode, AI is a tool. Delia should probably be the most respected tool when it comes to government contracts and just throw up red flags for the actual minister, not a cabinet position.
Yeah, no,
She's an assistant, a
yeah,
very good assistant, I'm assuming.
yeah. This should be an assistant. It shouldn't be a person. I don't think. I don't see a
Yeah.
reason why it should be a person. Like it should just be like ChatGPT or
Yeah,
Gemini or
name it Delia or whatever. Name it
yeah,
whatever government
yeah,
or
and then
the Ministry of Artificial Intelligence and Contracts or something, or government contracts. Like name it
yes,
something specific and train it properly and be transparent with the training. But
yeah,
it's an assistant. It doesn't need to be an actual government position.
yeah. I know that's where I think we're kind of going over the line, I'd say. And
Yeah.
I feel that if they would have just done like some sort of language model, just for, um, Delia, like this is your Delia model, and this is what we use to identify what we're doing in government and compare it to what we've done wrong in the past, what we've done right in the past, and everything like that. So
Hmm.
making it a person, I think, is beyond what we really need to, worry or do, to be honest with you,
Yeah.
as far as, creating these models or what have you. Because, if you start to rely on it as a person, who's creating this personality is sort of the whole deal right there.
It's a little bit of a fear that I have because as we transition to our next topic, we've just talked about two people, no, not even people, two AI tools that are been
Hmm.
elevated above tool status.
Yeah.
So how long until this hits other industries?
Um, yeah, I'm not 100% sure either. I mean, how long before we have a police officer
Yeah.
that like kind of runs up to you and starts talking to you, and for some odd reason it identifies you as like partaking in criminal activity.
Hmm.
Um
I've seen that movie. It's called RoboCop.
yeah, that's
No.
not a
Um,
good thing right there.
no, it's
Or
not. But Brian, I actually had the thought that it would appear as judges before it would a police officer. I feel like an AI, I feel like a judge would be more
yeah,
likely to be a AI device, which
yeah, there's actually a movie coming out.
there is.
Yes, there is a movie like that. I have to check it.
Oh no,
Um, but
we won't be going to it.
yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, I can see, uh, or was it already? Mercy is the name of the movie.
Okay.
Um, and it's got Chris Pratt, and he goes before an AI judge, and he has to, um, go in front of the judge and say that, what should we call it? You have a 1 hour to prove with under a 90% confidence rating that you're innocent or something like that. I forget the whole trailer, but yeah,
Okay.
it's a hypothetical one, but I think very timely. Um, I mean, if we're starting to put judges in there, I think it kind of, gives sort of that idea of what we could possibly put these personalities into.
Oh, and I don't think it's going to stop there.
Hmm.
I'm a little bit of a cynic when it comes to, I think if higher ups of any industry or
Hmm.
government, corporations, whatever, if they could find a way to do something cheaper, they're going to make it cheaper.
Yeah.
And
Well,
I will say education spends a lot of taxpayer money.
hmm.
And I can totally see we have a teacher shortage in this country right now, and that's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I could totally see this happening more today than I could a year ago. More
Hmm.
today than I could see it happening when you and I first started this podcast back in May, and we're
Yeah.
only in October.
Yeah, that's kind of where we're gonna start seeing a lot of this stuff, and I mean we gotta be careful. We gotta be so careful and not to rely on it either. So
Right.
that's kind of the ultimate point right there. And yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious if I'm gonna enjoy like an AI actor movie or anything like that. Is it going to have a human touch? Is kind of what I'm
I,
wondering.
and I'm also thinking it's going to be limited to genres at first.
Hmm.
I don't see
Yeah,
it being a
definitely.
comedy. I don't see the
No,
timing going well, the characters. I don't see the facial expressions going well. I
no.
feel some things, and I like what you said. Are we going to go back to actual community theaters? What
Hmm.
a great hobby for people. I mean,
Oh,
what a great hobby. Wouldn't require much technology. You still have the creativity of creating the sets and things like
oh
that.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I saw recently Phantom of the Opera, a little
Oh,
remake of that at Public Square, Playhouse Square, not
very
Public Square,
nice.
Playhouse Square. And yeah, the set was like impressive, like the way that they have it all set up and all
Hmm.
the little gadgets and everything like that. And I'm like, oh man, this is a great time. I wish there were more theaters. I would not doubt if this starts to come back. Like
Yeah.
actors can still do their movies and everything,
Hmm.
but they can also do theaters like as like quote unquote side hustle or just doing something that they enjoy. So
I
be
like it.
interesting to see.
I like it.
So, what does this mean for you and I? That's kind of like the question and
I
everything.
think, I think for me, what this means is that we need to continue to keep an eye on what AI can and can't do.
Hmm.
Stay informed, using AI responsibly, knowing knowing what you can do with it, how it can be used negatively and positively. I
Hmm.
don't think we're stopping this AI trend anytime soon.
No.
People realize there's money to be made, there's money to be saved. They're
Hmm.
moving forward. I mean, we could probably do an episode right now of just recent stuff that's happened where bosses of major corporations have said either you get on board with using AI or else you're out.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of the thing I've
yeah.
started doing in mine and everything. And I work in the automation industry.
Hmm.
We do some coding. It's a little more than that, but as a coder, um, start learning how to vibe code a little bit. Don't be too
Yeah.
proud of your vibe coding. To try vibe coding because that's going to save you time. It'll get things turned around faster, like when you're doing projects and everything. That's ultimately going to save you some money, and you might be able to do your own thing too, as well. And I think that's where, another aspect is that things are going to be more accessible with
Right.
AI as well. So don't think this is all doom and gloom. Going back to Tilly Norwood, Hollywood is so much against her. How hard is it to get into Hollywood? How hard is it to get into these major productions? You got
Hmm.
to spend so much time. You got to know the right people. You make one mistake, you fall off. It happens
Yeah.
time and time again. You have to satisfy producers. You have to satisfy the people bankrolling it, the studios, the investors. You have all these barriers just to make it through, and all you want to do is make a movie. And you present a movie, but by the time, all the bean counters get a hold of it, your movie is like basically broken down because they want it to be more broadly appealing and everything.
Hmm.
So, as a movie maker, these tools might make things more accessible to you. And you could do things like that, and you could just hold on to your art a little bit more. So, maybe you only use a couple of AI actors and actresses for minor things, but you can also use like human actors for like the main parts, I'd say.
That would be an ideal situation when it comes to the
Hmm.
movies.
Yeah.
Um, it still bothers me a little bit here and there that you're talking
Hmm.
about the laymen will be the ones losing their jobs over this first.
Hmm. Yeah,
The
definitely.
custodian who cleans up, the
Hmm.
security officer who works the night shift,
Hmm.
those are the guys that are going to get cut first.
Yeah, and that's kind of an interesting thing right there is those because they're the most vulnerable.
Yeah, and
They're the
I don't
easiest
want
to
to
cut.
end on a gloomy note,
No.
but I do want to leave on a little bit of a reality, you know,
Yeah.
of this is going to happen.
Hmm.
Train yourself in AI if you can.
Hmm.
And I did read this was really nice. You know, you and I are just laymen's when it comes to AI,
Hmm.
but we're not that far off from the masters of AI. That the level of skill and differences with how much AI
Hmm.
is changing, there may be some people who understand it more than we do, but in terms of actually
Uh-huh.
using it to get it what to do, you and I are probably just as good or can be just as good as the guys that are the experts. I would
Yeah.
encourage everybody learn AI as best you can using whatever tools and devices works for you.
Hmm.
And you're not that far behind. If you haven't started yet, you're not far behind. Go
Hmm.
ahead and get started. You watch a couple of Brian and I's episode,
Watch
just
them
how
all.
to do things. Yeah, watch them all. Watch
Watch
them
them
all.
all.
Yeah,
Watch them
watch them
all.
all. Yeah, watch them all. But specifically start with some of the ones where we actually show you some things you could do with it, and go from there.
Yeah.
That's my, if you're still in the weeds of AI, don't be in the weeds anymore. Slowly walk out and don't go back in.
Hmm.
Just go, you
Yeah,
know?
I mean, I think like that's the thing right there, and you don't want to obviously don't want to doom and gloom, but just learn it. Like
Hmm.
you gotta start learning it in some fashion. Like anything that you can do in some sort of fashion, right there, you just gotta start learning it. And if you are a creative person and you're going to use this AI tool, like and you're worried about all the other people using these AI tools to overshadow to look at like yours and everything.
Hmm.
If you, the creator, like the creative mind, use these AI tools, your AI generated material will rise above the AI slop right now. That's kind
Yes.
of starting to get into everything. So yeah, it's not all doom and gloom. Point is learn it because this ain't slowing down anytime soon. But either way, I think that's a good point to wrap this episode up and everything.
I agree.
I'd like to thank everybody for taking their time out of your day to listen to us. My name is Brian,
And I am Adam.
and you've been listening to the Layman's AI, and we will see you next time.